There we go, that is done. So we'll get going. And as always, we get a start lying down. So I'd like you just to come down onto your back, get comfortable. And then once you're comfortable, we'll take our focus onto our breathing. So you just want to take those nice deep breaths in and out. So with each deep breath in, we'll draw it down towards the stomach, allow the stomach to rise. And then as we breathe out, we'll just allow the stomach to drop back down again. Now we're just going to take one more deep breath in. As you breathe out, shall I take the arms overhead? Or interlace the fingers. And then reach out to the whole length of the body. So point the toes. Reach those hands as far away from the top of the head as you feel we can. Just making ourselves as mild as possible. And take one more deep breath in. As you breathe out, just release that stretch. Allow the arms to come down to around shoulder height. And here we're going to bend the legs, bring the feet to the floor. Keeping those arms out around shoulder height and the shoulders into the ground. We're just going to gently lower the knees to the right. Take them as low to the floor as we feel we can. Then we'll do the same as you drop the knees to the left. Taking them as low to the floor as we can. So we'll just gently drop those knees from side to side. Like I said, keeping the shoulders down as we do. And then if you want to, you can add a little extra in next and drop the knees to the right. You can take that left knee towards the right elbow, still keeping the shoulders down. We can do the same, drop the knees to the left, right knee towards the left elbow. If that feels too much, don't worry. Just stick with dropping those knees gently from side to side. Junior George. And we have that extra option where we can extend the top leg, taking the toe down towards the fingertips, if we feel we can. Watching my feet. Oh, you're sat right in the way. And then just one more time to each side. Now we'll gently ease back to the center. From here, I like to lift the legs. We'll hook the knees in towards us. I'm just feeling a little bit moving into the ankles, so we're just going to point and flex the feet. Drawing those toes towards the shins, pushing away again. And a few circles into the ankles too. So gently circle the feet one way. We'll change direction, circle the feet back the other way. And gently bring those feet back to the center and allow them to relax. From here, we'll draw the knees a little bit closer in towards the chest. And if possible, we'll take the feet towards the ceiling, try and take hold of the inside or the outside of the feet. If you can't quite reach the feet, take hold of the shins or the ankles. But the aim is to try and get the thighs as close to parallel to the floor as you can. Isn't it, George? And as close to a 90-degree bend at the knee as you feel as possible. Then we'll hold here. And we can take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll gently release. We'll hug those knees back in towards us. Here we'll take the hands to the back of the thighs. If we feel comfortable too, we're just going to gently rock and roll on the spot. Slightly bring ourselves towards a seated position. If it doesn't feel comfortable, please just gently bring yourself to a seated position. But if we're happy to, we've got that little bit of momentum. And once we feel we've done enough, we can release the thighs and either rock and roll to a seated position, or if we feel we can, to a squat. But as always, it doesn't matter which one. Because from either, we're going to come around onto all fours anyway. So bring those hands down and we'll step the legs back. So hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. So we bring that nice bit of movement to the back of the body. So as we breathe out, we'll arch the spine up towards the ceiling. And as we breathe in, we'll arch the spine and away, pushing the chest down towards the floor. Now just go into time with your own breath. We really want to focus on bringing as much movement to the back of the body as we feel we can. And then one more time each way. And hold to the center. From here, we're going to take the left hand, palm towards the ceiling. We're going to spread the arms through underneath the right, reaching out as far as we can. As we do this, we can lower the left shoulder down to the floor, bending the right arm, reaching the hand out as far as we can. We're going to take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to slowly unthread the arm, straightening the right one again. This time we're going to continue going through, taking the left hand up towards the ceiling. We'll take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll bring the hand back down. We're going to thread it back through underneath the right arm, reaching out as far as we can. Deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll slowly unthread. Again, we'll take the left hand up towards the ceiling, so we rotate out to the left. Nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll bring the hand back to the floor. We're going to do the same thing going the other way. So we'll take the right hand this time, palm towards the ceiling, we'll thread the arm through, bring the right shoulder down towards the floor. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll slowly start to unthread, rotating, taking that right hand up towards the ceiling this time. Nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll bring the hand back down. We're going to thread the right arm through underneath the left. Again, reaching as far as we can. Holding it. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll untwist. Taking your hand back up towards the ceiling. And we can bring the hand back to the floor. From here, we're just going to sink into child's pose. You can push those hips back towards the heels. Release the arms out in front of you. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, gently ease back up onto all fours. Now let's tuck the toes under. We're going to lift the knees, pushing the hips back and up into our down dog. So here your heels can be lifted. You're going to slight bend in the knees, retain those hips up high. We're trying to push the chest towards the thighs so we get a nice flat back. We're just going to have a little march into the feet here, so we're going to roll onto one set of toes, pushing the other heel down towards the floor. Keep those hips up nice and high as we do. We're going to ease back to the center. Here I have to bend the legs, and I'm going to sit the feet forwards and together. So we come into a forward fold. In our forward fold, slight bend in the knees, allow those arms to hang heavy. It doesn't matter if the hands can reach the floor or not. Keep those arms heavy, we're going to slowly start to roll up to standing. Now once we get to standing, I like to circle the arms overhead. We'll bring the palms of the hands together. Then we're going to go into a small back bend, so we're going to arch slightly backwards. Really focusing on the squeeze into the back of the legs and the glutes as we do, so we look after the lower back. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we can release the arms, release the back bend. Allow those arms to come back down to your sides. We're going to drop the chin to the chest. Let your arms and shoulders go heavy. And we'll slowly roll down towards the floor. So keeping those arms heavy, we're just going to roll as far down towards the floor as we feel we can go. then we'll slowly roll back up to standing. From here, we're going to take a long stride back with our right foot. And here we want to keep the heel down, so we're going to take that right heel to the floor. Now with the right foot, we can either have it straight or we can have it at a slight angle. We also want the feet about hip width apart. And we want to keep a slight bend in that left leg with the hips square to the front. We'll take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to slowly start to hinge forwards from the hips, taking the hands onto the front leg, or if we feel we can reach down towards the floor. We keep that slight bend in the left leg, we keep the right heel on the floor, we just hold here. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll slowly ease back up to standing. And then we'll step the right foot forwards. Bring those feet together. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I like to step the left foot back. So we come into that nice long stance, taking the left heel to the floor. And again, your left foot can be straight or toes out at a slight angle. Feet are hip width apart. Slight bend in the right leg, hips squared to the front, then we tip forwards, bring the hands either down onto the shin, or if you feel we can reach down towards the floor. So again, we want to keep that small bend in the right leg, we want to keep the left heel down on the floor. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll slowly ease back up to standing. And then we'll step the feet together again. From here, we're going to bend the legs. As we do, we're going to sink those hips back. And we're just going to sink as low towards the floor or into a seated position as we can, taking the hands overhead. As we do, if it's too much, take the hands overhead, bring them to the chest. We push those hips back, squeeze the legs. We can move to chair pose. So it's like we're trying to sit on something behind us. Now we'll take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we can lift the hips, lower the hands towards the floor. So we come back into our forward fold. And here we're going to bend the legs. So I take the hands to the floor. We're going to step the feet back, pushing the hips up. So we come into our down dog. So we take the hips nice and high, heels can be lifted, a little bit of bending the knees if you need it. Chest towards the thighs. So you get a nice flat back. And you lift them to the toes. Like to roll your weight forward so we come through into a plank position. Let's hit the knees to the ground. Elbows close to the ribs. We gently lower the upper body down to the floor. Now here, rotate the right arm out to shoulder height. And then we rotate the arm so the palm faces the ceiling. We're going to come up onto the right side of the body. So we just roll up onto the right hip and shoulder. Now if we can, we're going to take the left hand and we're going to reach behind us. Now if that's as much as you can do, that's absolutely fine. Just take the arm as far behind as you can, but if possible, we're going to interlace the fingers. Straighten the arms out. And then just hold here. Good. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, gently release. And we'll slowly roll down onto our front. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, so left arm out of shoulder height this time. Rotate it palm towards the ceiling. Then we come up onto the left side of the body. Then we'll take the right arm behind us. If that feels enough, we'll just leave it there. If we can, we'll interlace the fingers though. Straighten the arms. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, gently release. And we'll slowly roll back onto our front. From here, we'll bring the hands next to the ribs. So we're going to come into a small back bend. So I like to feel the shoulder blades backing together. We're going to squeeze through the back of the body, lifting the chest slightly off the floor. So we draw the shoulders back, we squeeze through the bum, the back of the legs. We're not pushing through the hands. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, gently ease down to the floor. From here, we're going to push back up onto all fours. And we can push the hips back towards the heels. So we sink into child's pose. Release those arms out in front of you again. take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're gently ease back up onto all fours. From here, we're going to step the left foot forwards and outside the hands. So we come into this kneeling lunge position. And here we want the left foot flat on the floor, so the heels down, the knees roughly over the ankle. I want you to squeeze the legs. Now if this was enough stay here, if we want a little bit more though, we can tuck the right toes under, lifting the knee off the floor, keeping the squeeze in the legs as we hold this position. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, if we lifted the knee, we can lower it. And then we're going to step the left foot back. So we come back onto all fours. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So let's step the right foot forward this time. Outside the hands. So we're in that kneeling lunge position. Knees over the ankle. Heels down. Squeeze those legs. That's enough. Stay here again. If you want a little bit more, we can tuck those left toes under, lifting the knee. But either way, we keep that squeeze in the legs. Take a nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll lower the knee if we lifted it. Then we'll step the right hand back. Then we're just going to sink back into child's pose. We're going to sit back towards the heels, release the arms out in front of you. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, we gently ease back up, so all fours. Yeah. And here we're going to tuck the toes under, we'll lift the knees, we'll step the feet forwards, taking them wide, and into as deep a squat as we feel we can come into. So here the heels can be lifted, This is as low as you feel we can hold it, that's absolutely fine. Wherever it is though, when you squeeze those legs. Keep that squeeze in the legs as you hold. If it starts to feel too much, gently come down to a seated position, that's fine. We're not here for too long. It's important to squeeze those legs as we hold here. So it's going to look after the hips, the knees and the ankles. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we can gently make our way down to the floor. And we can release the legs. So here we're going to come into our 90-90 position. So we're going to keep the left leg out in front of you. We're going to take the right leg out to the side. And we bend the legs. So we're trying to get close to a 90-degree bend in both knees as we feel we can. And we're going to bring the hands out in front of the left leg. If that's enough, stay there. If you want a little bit more, we're going to bring the forearms down to the floor. Or if we feel we can walk those hands out, taking the head as close to the floor as we feel we can go. But you go wherever it feels comfortable. If you need to ease out a little bit, ease out a little bit, release the hips, that's absolutely fine. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we'll gently ease back up. We're going to swap the legs over. So take the right leg out in front of us this time. Left leg out to the side. Trying to get as close to a 90-degree bend in both knees as we feel we can. We're going to take the hands out in front of the right leg. Again, if that feels enough, stay there. Or if we can, we're going to walk down to the forearms. Or we can walk the hands out, bring the head as far towards the floor as you feel we can. Again, just hold there. So then deep breath in. As you breathe out, we gently start to ease back up. And then we can release the legs. And taking that in front of us. From here, we're going to keep the left leg out in front of us, like to bend the right leg, bring the foot to the floor, either inside the leg, or if you feel we can step it over, we'll step it over the leg. And then we're going to use the left arm to hook the right knee in towards us as we twist. Took as far as the right shoulder before we can sit up nice and tall as we do. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll gently release. And then we'll untwist. And we can straighten the leg out. We're going to do the same thing going the other way, so we'll bend the left leg this time, foot to the floor either inside the leg, or if we can, we'll step it over. And we use the right arm to hug the left knee in towards us this time, twisting. Look as far over the left shoulder as we feel we can. Sitting up nice and tall as we do. And take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, we'll slowly untwist. And we can release the leg. From here, we get to lie down. So we'll gently come down onto our backs. Now just like to bring the soles of the feet together. Allow those knees to drop out to the sides. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, you can gently release the legs. And just find a position that feels comfortable to you. So we've got some relaxation to finish with. So once you're comfortable, just like take your focus onto your breathing. Just take those nice deep breaths in and out. So with each deep breath in, just going to draw it down towards the stomach. Just like at the start of the class, allow the stomach to rise. And then as you breathe out, so that's starting to drop back down. And if you want to, you just take your focus down towards your lower body. Maybe curl your toes down and just start to squeeze through the muscles of the lower body, so through the calves, the thighs, the glutes. More squeeze and build that tension. More hold that tension there for a couple of full deep breaths. And then on the next exhale, just let go of that tension. Feel those legs just a little bit heavier into the floor. And the feet might just drop out to the sides. Do the same thing with the upper body. So if you want to touch those hands and fists, just start to squeeze through the muscles in your arms, your shoulders, into the back of the neck. Again, squeeze and build that tension, holding it there. And then on the next breath out, just let go of all that tension. Feel those arms sink a bit heavier into the floor. The shoulder might drop both the ears.
take our focus back onto our breathing. And slowly start to bring some awareness back towards the body as well. So maybe just gently wiggle the fingers, maybe wiggle the toes. You might even just want to make a few small circles through your wrists and ankles. And if you want to change position, please do. Maybe open moving towards you. Maybe roll onto your side, it's going to feel comfortable to you. If you want to change position, again, please gently make your way back to a seated position. And from our seated position, we're going to take a nice deep breath in as we do, slowing our arms to drift overhead. And as you breathe out the top, just relax your shoulders and circle the arms back and down. Do that one more time, nice deep breath. As you breathe out, just relax the shoulders and circle the arms back and down. That's the right, guys.